Good evening. It's July 3rd in Los Angeles, California, and I'm Janet McElligott. Tomorrow we celebrate our Independence Day. And we fought hard for independence in the United States against the colonial power that governed us, Great Britain. Not everyone has what we have. Today there are at least 6 major conflicts globally of people who are fighting for their independence, and they are fighting to be heard. We can start with Gaza. Gaza has a terrifically difficult problem with Israel attacking them, with aid being a target that the IDF has gone after anyone going to get food. And that is something that Doctors Without Borders has said, the United Nations has said, the International Committee of the Red Cross has remarked upon, and they have made the Gazans a target just so that they can starve out the Gazans, just so they can eliminate Palestine. You all know that I've been involved in the Sudan for decades. Today, the Sudanese military, according to the BBC, killed at least 100 of the paramilitary terrorist fighters known as the Rapid Support Forces, the RSF. And they said that the government is slowly taking control of more and more of Darfur. But what I can also tell you is 25 million people in the country of Sudan face critical emergency food needs. And the United States, under USAID, had been prolific in bringing in food. But now, the absence of USAID has made things horrific for the Sudanese. And the city of El Fasher has been under siege for almost a year. And they, meaning the RSF, has systematically starved out these people. And what's the most interesting thing about Darfur and what the RSF has tried to do is, of the 5,000 tribes in Africa, the only tribe, the only part of Africa that colonial powers have never been able to beat are those in Darfur. And it was the Sultan of the Masalit who turned back the French not once but twice. And that kept every colonial power out of Darfur. And so all of these nations that have descended on Darfur to kill especially the Masalit, which are the elite fighters in Africa, not just Sudan, not just Darfur, but Africa, because they feel that if they can break their spirit, they can break the Sudanese spirit, and that will never happen. I also want you to remember today, Yemen. Most Americans have no idea who the Houthis are and what they fight for. The Houthis, interestingly enough, sound a lot like Americans back during our colonial years. The Houthis, even though they're a Shia sect, and that doesn't necessarily sound like America, they're known for fighting corruption. They have been a minority their entire existence. And they have a solidarity with Palestine. They have supported the Palestinians. They are in solidarity with the Sudanese people. And they have asked for democratic development. They have wanted their own governance or to be a part of the Yemenis government, and they have been shunted to the side. And so when I say they sound like us as Americans, they are the biggest anti-corruption group in the Middle East. Do a little bit of homework about the Houthis instead of just believing what someone tells you to believe. Go do your own homework. I also want to talk about the Ukraine. The Ukraine has been going on now with genocide, with fighting, with Russian soldiers in there, running over the top of them. The United States was very supportive initially And the America First idea seems to miss the bigger picture, which is our identity has always been, in my opinion, to be the bigger person, to be the one to help up and to give a hand up to someone. The Ukrainians didn't ask for this war. The Russians want to control the whole former Soviet Union, or at least it seems to me, and to bring it in under one umbrella, and that umbrella is Putin. So I want you to think about the Ukrainians. We just took sanctions off of Syria, but Syria still has a war going on. Just because Bashar al-Assad is gone doesn't mean there's peace for these people. And I want you to keep them in mind. And lastly, I'd like you to keep in mind the Democratic Republic of the Congo. East and West, portions of the Congo have been fighting since the genocide in Rwanda. And many of these conflicts that I'm talking about today are people who want to fight for their identity within their governments, a place within their governments. And that's exactly what we did, and that created our holiday, which is Independence Day, that we celebrate tomorrow. So as you celebrate, for all of my American friends, and Canada Day, by the way, was July 1st, so happy Canada Day. And for all of us who have broken away from our colonial powers, I want you to remember that in many cases, these conflicts, some of which are very much forgotten conflicts right now, they're fighting for the same reasons we as Americans fought to get away from the British. No taxation without representation. We wanted our own governance. We wanted our own self-determination. So do these people. So before you say, well, we can't think about anyone else, France came to our aid. Without Lafayette, I doubt we would be the United States of America. Without the French, who we love to make fun of, would we be celebrating tomorrow? Because I don't think we would. And so in saying Happy Independence Day, I also say Vive la France. So thank you very much and happy Independence Day.